I met Ren for the first time. I was really excited to meet Ren because Ren is so positive, so I wanted to see if in real life he would be like this evil menace. He's exactly the same, which was very disappointing. I'm just kidding. The first thing I asked when I met him was like, how are you so happy? And Ren, being Ren, just couldn't even answer the question. It was as if he was like keeping it a secret or something. And you know, honestly, like I say that he's the same person, but actually Ren in real life is so mean. Let me just tell you guys something. Ren tried to kill me. So in particular, I've told not just Ren, but I've told literally every single member that I've met up with, I am not good with rides. And I know when I say stuff like this, you know, some people also be like, oh yeah, don't worry, I don't like roller coasters either. I'm like, no, you fucking bitch, you don't understand. There's people who don't like roller coasters, and there's people who will die. This is the difference between people who don't like to eat peanuts and people who eat peanuts and will die because they're allergic to it. That is exactly the same thing. So like, you know, Ren is so psychopathic that he doesn't seem to understand that people can die. Maybe because he's an alien and he just has like stronger genes. But Ren, being the positive psychopath that he was just like,
Anna, this one is really, really good. It's like the best one in USJ. You have to try it.
and I was like, okay, but does it go really fast? And Ren was like,
No, it doesn't go fast at all. Not at all. It's not a roller coaster. You ride on it and you get to see a bunch of things.
he made it sound like we were gonna ride something and it was just like riding through a museum or something, you know? And he was just like,
Yeah, there are twists and turns, but it's really slow.
and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, like, there were like kids in line. And I was like, if they can go on it, then yeah, I can go on it too. So we were in line for an hour and a half. There were some times where I was like, what if this ride is really scary? And you know, I would ask Ren again, I'd be like, is this ride really okay? And then Ren would just be like,
Oh yeah, don't worry. Absolutely. Like, it's not overwhelming at all. It's not that fast.
and I was like, okay, like Ren gives very good reassurance. And that's because he's a psychopath. So I was being gaslit for the entire 1.5 hours. I had no idea. I literally just felt like it was gonna be fine. It really did. Like, everybody really made me feel like I was a part of a family that loved me and that supported me and that they really were looking out for my well-being. I didn't know that there's people in this company that actually want me to stop breathing. But anyways, it didn't feel like an hour and a half. But before I know it, like, we were at the very front of the line. And Ren gets super excited. He's like,
Anna, you're gonna love this ride. This ride is actually the best one in USJ.
and I was like really excited because I was like thinking that like it must have been a really good attraction and there must be like some really nice things to see. I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, like the best ride in USJ isn't even a roller coaster. It's a family-friendly, toddler-friendly ride. Like, that's awesome. You made a really funny face when you saw the video for safety stuff. Oh my god, I totally forgot about this. While we were lining up, there was like this safety video, okay? In my head, I'm like, why do you need to put out a safety video? Like, there's so many examples on the video saying like,
Okay, keep your hands in and put on your seatbelt.
and I was like, why do you need a seatbelt for a very underwhelming ride? You know, in my head, I was just like, well, you know, it's probably just for safety. It's Japan. Like, Japan is just extra cautious with stuff. I did think about it for a second and I asked Ren again. I was like, Ren, why do they have a safety video? And Ren was just like, well, it's just to keep you safe. You know, Ren, being the psychopath that he was, just said the most basic answer, as always. Low-key, that was sort of like the first red flag, but also I kind of ignored it. Yeah, they showed the ride of the previous people. I think they take a picture like mid-ride or something, and these strangers in the picture, they were making faces like, I can't make it, you know. They were making faces like they were screaming. And you know, again, I was like, I see this poster. I'm like, Ren, why are these people screaming? Honestly, I just sound really dumb now because like I had all these hints around me and I was just like, okay, I would trust Ren because Ren is such a nice person, right? Ren is such a caring person, right? Ren is just such a nurturing alien, right? Ren would never lie. Ren meditates. He does breathing streams. Like, who lies if they do breathing streams? So I was looking at these photos of these strangers screaming on a poster, and I was like, Ren, why are they screaming? And Ren was just like, cause they're having a lot of fun, Anna. That's gonna be you and me. And I was like, okay, I like screaming for fun. I don't know, like, I'm excited, so maybe I'll be like, you know? So okay, I probably won't scream if I'm having fun, because that's not when I scream. The only time I scream is when I'm in pure terror. But it doesn't matter. Anyways, that was all happening while we were in line. So we're next in line. So I was first, actually. Behind me was Kyo, and then behind him was Ren. I realized that if I go in first, I'd be sitting on the edge. And you know, like, I was like, okay, it shouldn't be bad because, you know, it's an underwhelming ride and you're just riding it to look at things. But there was like this voice inside my head. This voice has like helped me throughout my entire life. This voice was the one that told me to run away from my schizophrenic mother. This voice was the one that told me to stand up for myself. This voice was the one that was like, hey, this friend is toxic. Maybe you should just like cut them off. This voice has saved my life again and again and again. This voice is my bestest friend, and it's coming from within myself. And I barely ever hear this voice. It was only in dire situations throughout my entire life have I ever heard this voice. This voice before I went on the ride was like,
Don't go on the edge.
so I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I look at Kyo and I'm like, you're going in first. Kyo looks at me and he's like, okay. So he goes in first. So I'm in between Ren and Kyo. And we're at the very front of the cart, okay? In my head, because like, you know, when I get car sick, you sit in the front. So I kind of applied that logic to like this ride because I'm f***ing stupid. So I was in between Ren and Kyo. And the lady was like, please tighten up your seatbelts. And I was like, oh, okay. So I start getting really nervous, you know? I feel like something bad's gonna happen. I just feel it. Like, low-key, I would have preferred maybe to sit next to Petra because Petra's like my biggest emotional support anchor. But then I remembered sitting next to her on the plane and she was feeling anxious. So I was like, okay, maybe I have to sit beside someone who just doesn't feel anything. And that was Kyo. He's a numb kid. And also, Ren is supposedly, at that time, I thought he was a positive, nice person. So I was like, okay, I'm sitting in between somebody who will not be affected by my anxiety and also somebody who will be like really positive and really like supportive this entire ride. And then the ride starts. And immediately the ride goes at like fucking, I don't even know, like the speed of like an airplane. It just goes like and I'm like, it went super fast. Then we stopped really abruptly. So what happens when vehicles go super fast and then stop abruptly? You feel like this jolt. If you're a muscular 150-pound individual, you can handle that sort of pressure. But I am made out of glass. My bones have not had proper calcium since I was being breastfed by my mother. I am a brittle individual, not too tall, and kind of skinny. And also I suffer from nausea, heights, and everything. So basically when that happens, I almost broke my spine. I was like, at that moment, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to like clench my abs or something, which I don't have. So like immediately, instinctively, I grab onto both Ren and Kyo's arms. This is the biggest hoe phase of my life. This is the most amount of times I've touched a dude. And I don't f***ing care. I was gonna die. I would rather get canceled than die. So then when they stop, for some reason, there's like this thing on the television that says, please put all your belongings in the pocket in front of you. And I'm just like, why didn't you say that before we started the ride? What if like somebody lost their wallet just now? And then it was like, please tighten your seatbelt. And at that point, my heart just dropped. I'm not even joking, chat. My heart dropped all the way to my pussy. Like, oh my God, it was the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced in my life. So like, the ride starts. I don't even know what the f happened. Apparently, you're supposed to look at a bunch of stuff. My eyes were closed shut the entire time. The ride just goes. I don't even know how to describe the ride. It felt like as soon as we started riding, the ride felt like it was gonna go down. We were going down a really, really like steep slope. I've never screamed so hard in my life. And at some point, for some reason, this psychopath from Mars tried to like tap my shoulder and pretended a spider landed on me. But the thing is, I was already in pure fear. I didn't even know that happened. My eyes were closed. All the neurons in my head were in complete fear. All 10,000 billion strands of my brain cell were activated and every single one of them was saying, you're gonna die. This f***ing ride went like super down a slope, then it went up, it went super duper fast, then it turned left, then it turned right, then it went down again. Who built this ride? Some fucking psychopath in Japan was like, yeah, let's do it like this. And then some other psychopaths like Ren would be like, yeah, this is the best ride ever. At some point, even though I was in pure fear, my entire body completely just discarded Ren's arm. I was like, fuck this psychopath, man. Get away from me. There was still a part of my brain was just like, don't touch this man. This man has tricked the entire internet in the world into believing that he is a good person. Let go. I let go of his hand. I almost gave Kyo undergo his 10th surgery. I just like dug into his stomach so hard that I almost like poked a hole in his shirt. And at one point, there was like this one neuron in me that was just like, maybe you should loosen up a bit. And I couldn't. My hand wouldn't loosen up. I'm so sorry, Kyo's shirt. Kyo was laughing the whole time. All I could hear was like laughing, agonizing, gut-wrenching screaming from myself, and Ren going, woo, beside me. In pure darkness. So I just want you guys to see this. 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a really, really accurate depiction of what I was hearing and what I was seeing for like what felt like about 1,000 years. Okay, guys. This is the simulation. Okay, you guys back from your immersion? Yeah? So that was a very accurate audio and visual depiction of what I was hearing and seeing the entire 500 years. It was absolutely terrifying. And I'm sorry that I almost literally killed Kyo. You know how some people go to like amusement parks to like have the experience of a girl grabbing onto them like, kawaii? No. I almost gave him his 10th surgery. I'm not even joking. Like I almost ripped his guts open. Which I am very apologetic for. I kept apologizing. I've never apologized to Kyo in my life. Except for this time. Ren almost killed 2 people. Not only would he have almost killed me if I actually died on that ride, but he would have killed Kyo too, because I would have killed Kyo. I don't remember what happened. I just remember it was really dark because I had my eyes closed. I did open it for like a millisecond one time and I saw this boulder coming at me. So in my head, I'm like, oh shit, we're going backwards now. So I was like getting really, really prepared for that. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna go backwards, which is really terrible because if you have nausea and the ride is going backwards, that's even worse. But no! Instead of going backwards, whoever made this ride was just like, we're gonna go down! So instead of going backwards, we just drop. And I'm like, what the f? That's even worse. Like, I'd rather be nauseous than in pure fear. I hate the feeling of dropping. I hate heights. I would rather throw up for 6 hours straight than like be on top of like a really tall tower. So like we dropped and I low-key almost fainted. I'm not even joking. Like the drop was pretty short, but it was even a second longer, I would have fainted. Like I felt like my conscience was gonna go out, but I didn't because Kyo's laugh was the only thing keeping me conscious. It was so loud. My ears were like ringing. And then the ride finally stops after 1,000 years. We get off, and I'm not even joking you chat, my hands were like shaking. I felt like I had shat myself 20 times. Ren looks at me with his boy face, and he was like,
Anna, are you okay?
and I was just like, I'm gonna make sure you're graduating tomorrow. And, you know, he could barely speak, so he couldn't say anything back. And I could see that he felt really bad, but low-key, I don't care. I was like, good. I hope you feel bad the rest of your life. I hope you know that you almost killed an Asian woman. I can't believe you're doing... Oh my... Ren, I can't believe you're... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Ren Soto, you are the evilest person that I know in this company. I can't believe you have the audacity to raid my stream. Forgive me? The only way I'll forgive you is if you go back to your planet and stay there. Take that blue sugar high and throw it away. Amplify yourself to another universe. What does that even mean? I don't know. It doesn't matter what it means. Ha ha. Oh, I told you guys he's a psychopath. I told you guys he's a psychopath. I wish you could have gone on the underwater ride. You would have trusted me after that. No, because I would have drowned in your lies and your psychopathic mindset. And if I didn't, I would have tried to choke you and blamed it on the water. So, yeah, I'm glad that both of us came out of it alive, and I hope I never see you again. I'm just kidding. I feel like that was a bit mean. No! You deserve it. I just have to think about the Indiana Jones ride and I'll feel better. I won't feel as guilty.
Always wanted everybody to call me One-chan.
I'm gonna get demonetized.